Hey everybody, welcome to the Inimitable podcast. I am your host, Jermaine Harrison. I am a licensed mental health counselor, mentor, visionary, transitional life coach, but more importantly, I am a neurospicy black sheep. Inimitable means something that is so unique it is impossible to duplicate. This pod is for the neurospicy who are building mental wealth without a blueprint. Every guest here, we're going to talk about some of those topics that other people don't want to talk about, but we're going to talk about it, whether it be about motherhood, black men, whether it be about joining the force and being a mental health advocate. Either way, we're going to talk about it. So, with that being said, thank you for coming. And if you're here, it's because God needed you here. I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Hello, my good people. I just started singing. Don't ask me why. I just really was singing. And you know what? I've really been thinking about having like a what's this thing called? Like an intro, because my nephew he does beats and stuff. And I was like, ooh, maybe I'll elevate the game and start to, do a little something along those lines. But anywho, in the meantime, in between time, happy last day of July. The best month ever is coming up. The best month ever. We have August coming. I hope you guys are excited because I know I am. My birthday's on Monday, y'all. I'm getting older. Good Lord Almighty, I'm getting older. But it's okay because, we age like fine wine, But anyway, you know how I do. Give people a few minutes to come in, letting people know that we're live. Like, hey, y'all, come catch me. Don't catch me outside, but catch me here. All good things, all good things. So today we're talking about preparing for the expansion. Now, normally, Sissy Pooh has some notes. Today, we do not have the notes. So, not to say I'm not prepared, because I am. I've been thinking about this episode. I've been talking about this episode. I've been reflecting on this episode. So, here we go. Inimitable podcast. How are y'all doing today? Yeah. Whether you watch this live, on a rebroadcast, whatever floats your boat, be in the comment section, I like engaging with, I want to say my audience, but I don't really quite have a major audience as of yet. But I do like to hear what you guys are thinking, how you guys are feeling, what's going on in your worlds, if the stuff that I'm saying and I'm posting, if it matters, because sometimes you don't know what's going on. You don't know who you're reaching. You don't even know if it's effective sometimes. Sometimes you just got to be obedient and put it out there, because a lot of what I do is in the hopes of being productive and helpful, even if I reach one, I was taught a long time ago as a young minister in the Lord, Jesus. Sorry, y'all. I had a root canal done today, and I feel like a piece of my lip got pulled at some point because, you can't feel nothing. So now I feel like I just got like some skin. WTMI, you didn't ask for that. Sorry. Anyways, I'm going to get into the conversation because I want to honor everyone's time. I want to honor my time. Kind of hungry. Again, you didn't ask for that, but this is my pod, so there you go. Anyway, so like I said, today we're talking about preparation for the expansion. And the motivation behind this episode really came from me just having conversations. That's where most of these episodes come from, are just my conversations, whether it be with my clients, friends, mentees, whoever. But one thing I've learned and I've noticed about my life is there seems to be what I like to call the theme of the week, because it just seems like every conversation I have lines up with that theme. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, in one sense, it's like I'm having this conversation with my clients. And then, ironically, I'm having the same conversation with a friend. And then, ironically, my mentee is like, because most of my mentees call me Harrison or Ma, one of those two. They're like, Ma, what does this mean? Help me. And I'm like, it's all connected. Got it. So today, the inspiration and the reason why we're talking about preparation for expansion is because last week, if you missed it, go check it out. Last week, we were talking about like being consistent in life storms, because life is lifing. Life is happening very heavily for a lot of us, and we all need help and assistance on how to do this thing better, how to keep going, how to show up, how to respond differently, all of these things, all the things. So there's a large part of me that reminds myself and a lot of other people that we need to be prepared for the things that we're working so hard for. Because let me tell you, okay, there's a certain period in my life that I'm in right now, and I'm like, I was not prepared. I wasn't prepared to go through the losses I went through, the grief I went through. I wasn't prepared to go through any of that. But also, there's preparation needed for the expansion. I remember a pastor saying once, and he was like, if God were to give you everything you prayed for, would you be ready for it? And I think we all think that's a yes, but in the dating world, they're like, are you really ready to date? Are you ready to be someone's wife? Are you ready to be someone's husband? Sometimes that's a no. Truth be told, we're not ready. But this is what we keep begging for, right? Some of us are like, oh, I just want to be a millionaire. And it's like, really? Because you ain't doing too hot managing the hundreds that you get or the thousands that you get. You really think you can manage the millions? It's equivalent to going through the stages of like walking and running, right? You don't immediately go from crawling to running. Your legs don't know how to stand and balance yet. So you're definitely not going to move in a fast pace, right? Because everything has a time. Everything, there's a step, there's an order, there's a progress that happens in these moments in life. Same thing with school. You don't advance, or you're not supposed to, we'll say that. You're not supposed to advance to the next level until you successfully pass the one that you're in. Like, don't put me in pre-calculus if I barely passed geometry and algebra. Don't make me go from like the basics to pre-calculus. Like, what? No. I don't even know how to do half the stuff first. Don't think I'm going to just excel over here because I was doing pretty good in just general math. You know what I'm saying? So like everything requires a preparation. It requires a step. It requires order into how we start to do things. And so in these conversations that I'm having with my clients and friends and mentees and all this other stuff, is to say like we all need to be prepared. Because what happens when that breakthrough comes? What happens when we get that one phone call, that one contract? What happens when we get that one person that shows up out of the blue? You bump into them in the store or whatever. what happens? Are you ready to receive it? And again, if we were being honest, truth be told, we're not ready. We're not. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. That just means like, oh, now I see why I didn't get it yet. Again, I get real churchy over here. It is what it is. This is a mental health podcast. And we love Jesus over here because Jesus and therapy go hand in hand. They do not contradict each other. They go hand in hand, So, with that being said, there's a... Sorry, my aunt's calling. There's something to be said about the story of the prodigal son, right? Everybody knows it, whether you are Bible or not, whether you understand it, book like cover to cover, The prodigal son rightfully was supposed to get an inheritance. What he did is he was like, I want my inheritance now. And so because he wanted it now, he got the inheritance, wasted it, blew through it, and then it's like, ooh, yes. I didn't do that well. I was wasteful with everything that I had. And something that pops out to me about that story is, although it is rightfully ours, again, everything has a timing, which means I can't have it prematurely because I may not know how to handle the bigger thing if I'm not properly handling the thing that I have right now. A lot of us find ourselves in these situations where we're always like, I want this, and I'm working so hard to get this, and I want. And it's like, okay, but are you doing the necessary things to get it, right? In therapy, we talk about all the time, like people are like, I just want to be healed and I want to do better. And I'm reading these self-help books and I'm doing all the things and it's just not working. But ironically, as you talk and you listen to them, it's like, do you realize that you're responding differently to things? That's an indicator that you're getting ready, that you're healing, and that you're preparing for more, Like, I don't have a lot of single friends anymore. I feel like everybody and their mama's booed up these days. But, I hear conversations. I used to have conversations with my single friends all the time, and they're just like, I just want, my man, and I want him to be that. And I remember, old school, right? Old school was like, you want that, but you can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? Like, are you that person? Like, you can't be like, I need someone who cooks and cleans and makes the money and does all the things. And it's like, what do you do though? Do you just sit around, lounge around, and required to be like, or demanded to be taken care of? And you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna sit here and be cute. Because it's like, okay. Bible says he that finds a wife. Not he that finds a female, not he that finds a girl, he that finds a wife, which means, ladies, we have to be a wife. We're not wives when we are married, when our last names change and there's a ring on our finger. That's not it. We are wives when we are found, you know what I'm saying? Which is why we need mentorship from, older generations, and being like, how do I do this? How do I do this? How do I handle the nuances that is him? I just had a couples session literally right before this. And it is so interesting listening to couples sometimes banter back and forth, because it's like, only y'all knew there was like beauty in the differences. Instead of what you deem as annoyances and frustrations, there's beauty in the differences of opinions and values and perspectives. Like, there's beauty behind it. You don't want to be with someone who thinks exactly like you, because like, where's the fun in that? So preparation for expansion. I think when we think about it, we have to consider the fact that more requires me making room. I have to make room. I have to make room for those moments when like I like I wanted to move, right? And when I was young, I've been in my condo for 3 years, coming the end of August. And I was like, I just want to move. I want to be able to expand. I need space. La, 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 la. I need all the things, right? And as I'm trying to and thinking about moving, I'm like, I can't even take care of this little room and a half that I got. You think I can handle a whole house? Like, I got to learn how to take care of my room, how to organize my stuff. Because if I transfer my mindset and my habits from a 1 room and a half to the 5 rooms that I have right now, I'm not going to be able to manage it properly because my mindset hasn't changed. My habits haven't changed. My perspectives haven't changed. Did I actually learn anything? Probably not. So, preparation requires you to make room, to make sure that you are a good. Uncle David says it all the time. He's like, you got to be a good steward over your stuff. So if you don't properly steward this, why should you be expected to get something more? Right? I have to know how to manage what is in front of me, what I have, before I try to say, like, but I want more. It's like, what are you doing with what you have? You know what I mean? Like, sometimes in therapy, we're always talking about what it means to really be this ideal self. What does that even look like? And some people are like, oh, I don't want to be so reactive. I want to, handle my things better. I want to excel. I want to be rich. I want to be successful. I want to be all of these things. And it's like, and what are we doing to become that person? Oh, I'm just gonna get there and I'm just gonna learn as I go. Or we need to be more intentional about the steps that we're doing, because you don't want to just stumble upon success. You want to be successful. You just don't want to stumble upon riches. You want to be rich or wealthy. You don't want to just stumble upon like, oh, look, I responded well. That was great. You want to be intentional about the way that you're doing things, which I guess is the second point. To prepare for the expansion. Yeah. Wow. That thought just what was I saying? Oh my God. That thing left. Oh wow. I say make room. Prepare. Intentionality. Thank you, Lord. You gotta be intentional. You don't just want to stumble upon things. You just don't want to be like, ooh, look, it just so happens that thing was there and then it worked. And ooh, let's try to concoct this miracle again. It's like, or we set intention on how we're going to do things. Becoming an entrepreneur is like the ultimate game of chess. And I felt like I was going from playing checkers to chess without knowing the rules of chess. Like not knowing how the bishop moves versus how the queen moves versus how the pawn moves versus how the knight moves. Like I felt like nobody told me how to do this entrepreneurship thing, right? And so I'm just like, I'm going to epically fail because what? How do you do this? I don't have a business background. I don't have an MBA. I don't. But what I do have is the intentionality to learn, to make adjustments, to try, even if that means I fail. And trust me, y'all, I failed. Like me and my mentor were talking about, like, if you go back and look at the first things that we were putting out, I thought that was a flyer. Do you see the quality of that video? Do you see how pixelated my picture looks like? You look back and you're just like, that is trash. That's crazy. That's where I started. But then you realize where you are now, and you're just like, whoa, okay, we did a thing. How we did it, I don't know, but we did it, because you don't realize how far you've come until you're taking a glance back and you're just like, ooh, okay. So building strategy, you hear me? I never knew how important strategy was. And I'm an athlete. I was an athlete, right? And so as an athlete, like you're building strategy all the time. You're not just building an offense, you're building a defense, which means I got to know who my opponent is. I got to know what their weaknesses are. I got to know what my weaknesses are. I got to know what their strengths are. I got to know what my strengths are. And I got to counteract that with strategy. So I guess that's another point on how to prepare is by building strategy. There's so many things that can go wrong in life. And people get thrown off real easily because of like, all I had was an idea built for this thing. This was plan A. Plan A was everything. Not taking into consideration, like, plan A may not actually work, right? That's why you have some people that are like, I plan A through Z because I need backups, and that's building strategy. What happens when everything that I've worked so hard for looks nothing like what I got? I might have to make a pivot. A good strategist knows here's how to pick up and keep moving, right? And if you want expansion, you're going to have some strategy behind it. You can't just have things and then think you're equipped and you know how to deal with the nuances that is life and the nuances that are people, the nuances of situations and circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like, some things got to change. Some things got to look very differently, so strategy is so important to the expansion. I want to be prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not much of a cook. I can do anything I set my mind to. And with the Lord, I can do anything I put my mind to. But I'm not much of a cook, but I do watch cooks. I watch a lot of cooking shows. Like, my TV used to be on HGTV and the Food Network because I just love to see how people create things, right? Because I'm a creative. And food is art, just like art and painting and drawing is art. I love it. So I look at how much it takes people. Thank you, Darren. I look at how much preparation it takes for cooks to do things. Like, just the spread. You have like a line of seasoning and then a line of ingredients. And then you got a line of bowls and spoons and all the things because they know this might look like a lot, but baby, that final product means this thing going to be socked up with some good flavors and it's going to be glistening and it's going to be chef's kiss, IG photo ready, And I'm just like, that's a lot of preparation. And if you do it right, if you got meat or like some seafood and stuff, and you let that thing marinate for a little bit. Right? Preparation. Preparation isn't just like a 30-second thing. If I want something more for my life, I got to make sure I'm preparing myself for it. I got to make sure that I'm aligning self with the thing that I want. Because again, a lot of us know what we want and we're like, oh, I'm going to run in that direction. We don't take into account how many pitfalls there are, how many detours there are, how many people we're going to come up against. Everyone talks about Nehemiah in the Bible. Nehemiah was rebuilding the wall because it got torn down. And Israel was very vulnerable. And as soon as he started to build, everybody was like, who are you? And what makes you think you can build? And he's like, the king said I can do it. God said I can do it. So I guess those two said so. And as he kept building, the Bible talks about in one hand, they had something to build with, and in another hand, they had something to fight. Because you can't build and not be prepared to fight something. someone, something. I'm not condoning violence. Sometimes it's metaphorical, y'all. I'm not talking literal, saying metaphorical. Like sometimes you got to be prepared. You're going to encounter an enemy. You're going to encounter somebody or people that don't want you to be great. This is why I'm not into politics like that. But brown and black communities are still fighting to this day. No matter how many years of protesting, peaceful or not peaceful, no matter how many times we excel, no matter how many times we are doing things to change and impact positively our communities, and how we throw literally the world on our backs and we do the things, we're still fighting. Because the unity of brown and black folks are a threat to those that are not brown. And so, as you know, society conditions brown and black folks to not just fight the others. We fight self too, And it's just like, that's like the enemy who's like, I don't have to do anything because they self-sabotage everything. I don't even have to influence them because they don't think they're qualified to be where they are. They don't think that they are worthy of the thing that they're working so hard for, that they're dreaming for. If you don't think you're worthy of something, even if that thing were to be right at your door, you're going to be like, I'm skeptical of it. I don't know why it's here. I don't know how long it's going to be here. So can I really even enjoy it? Probably not. Preparation for expansion means I don't have to just physically be ready, mentally, emotionally, spiritually even. I got to be ready for this thing that's coming. We pray and wish and hope and work so hard to get what we think the smallest of things. And it's like, why can't I push past this stagnation or this thing that I'm in? Probably because you don't believe that you deserve it. Let me tell you something. No matter how many accolades I get, and this is true story, my best friend's still here, he'll tell you. True story. I have awards and trophies, and as you see, degrees, licenses. This is not a flex. Giving you an example. I have all the things. And yet and still, do not put me in a room of professionals. I'm like, why am I in this room? I do not belong in this room. Yeah, I'm smart, kind of. Yeah, I'm a professional, sort of. Yeah, I read the Bible, and God gave me a gift. He did. I don't belong in this room. And it's like, well, Jermaine, what room do you belong in then? Because you get mad when you're in these rooms of mediocrity, that you put yourself in because that was comfortable for you. And you get mad that you're still in those rooms. But then when I am placed in bigger rooms with more influential people, I'm like, I don't belong here. And it's like, girl, pick one. I was out to breakfast with my friend today, and we were talking about a situation. She's like, you either got to be 2 feet over here or 2 feet over there. You can't have one here and one there. You can't. You're splitting yourself. That's a lot of mental, emotional chaos that you're causing yourself. Either you're in or you're out. Either you're all in and you're just like, hey, listen, I don't quite know what this is going to turn into, but I'm tired of being where I'm at. A desperate person is a dangerous person because they're like, I don't care what it takes for me to come out of here. I'm coming out. I'm not staying here. I am going to be and do better. And they don't care what it costs them. That's why they're dangerous, because sometimes we don't make such good decisions when we're desperate. I would know. Yeah. But sometimes we got to get to that point where, they say, like, even if you have to do it scared, do it. That's not just a saying. That is facts. Regardless of, and I'm going to tell you this because y'all, I'm in this. You hear me? I am in the thick of this. I'm scared about everything I'm doing right now. Pretty much. Like writing books, being in front of y'all, being consistent with the pod. Although I love doing podcasts, I don't have guests yet. It's just me. And so, networking and going places and putting myself out there, like having to like metaphorically knock on doors and be like, hey, I can help you. And here's why you should work with me. No, this is uncomfortable and very, very scary. But if I don't do it, who gonna do it? How are we gonna get there? I can't sit and be like, oh well, God, I'm his favorite. I do say I'm his favorite, but I'm his favorite, and so God's just gonna do it. And all I gotta do is just sit here until he opens the door, and then when he opens the door, I'm gonna be ready. And then no, I love my Gen Zers, right? Working with them when they were teenagers, and they're like, when I become an adult, it's all gonna make sense, and I'm gonna do better because I'm 18. It's like, so you're saying you spent the past 5 years being very emotionally dysregulated, not really focused, emotionally reactive, and ready to pop off at any moment. Then you think just because you become 18 that you're going to all of a sudden settle down, and it's like, oh, what was I doing? Oh, I ain't got to do that no more. I'm like, y'all, stop. I don't call people stupid, but I'm like, you acting real stupid. Because what? No. You don't just magically become something overnight. You don't just magically become the person that you've always wanted to be overnight. And again, we have to do these self-check-ins because people don't realize how far they've come if they never take a look back and be like, yo, like I said, when I first started a Fighting Chance, everything looked trash compared to where I'm at now. Everything, I'm like, that's so embarrassing. I want to take this down. But if I take it down, I can't see my progression. I can't see how far I've come just as a professional. You know what I'm saying? And as a therapist, it is great sometimes to hear the feedback from the clients, and they're like, girl, you've been doing your big thing with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they ain't got to say it like that. But, like it's so refreshing when you get that positive feedback from your clients, because you're like, sometimes therapists are like, did I just do that right? Did I say the right thing? Was that too much? Did I push too hard? Oh my God, what if I push too hard and then like they have a mental breakdown and then it's all my fault and then I could lose my license, or like it happens, but to get the feedback where they're like, nah, it was heavy and it did hurt. And ooh, girl, you forced me to be uncomfortable because I didn't want to open that door. And you were like, open the freaking door. I'm not that assertive in my sessions most of the time. Sometimes, maybe. Anyway, but to hear that it works and it's effective, that's great. And so sometimes you need people around you that are going to not just validate you, but are going to challenge you. And then when they challenge you, they're like, you see what you just did there? Like, clock it. Because you just did your big thing right there, boo. And I love doing that to my people all the time. Whether they're again, clients, mentees, friends, best friends, whomever. I'm going to be like, yo, you did that, man. Because I just read a post today that said you became the person that your younger person needed when they felt unsafe or when they didn't feel seen or heard or whatever it was. And truth be told, there's a little selfishness, in most therapists. We're in this because like there's a part of us that's like, I wish I had this, or I was crazy. And then I went to therapy and then I'm like, oh, well, now I want to do this for other people because now I feel better. A part of me when I first started, I was like, I need to know that everything that I went through it can help somebody else. I need to know that I actually can help somebody, and I'm not just this little irrelevant girl like I thought I was, you know? And so we like to help people because I wish I had me when I was younger. I wish I had someone that was like, Jermaine, I see you. And not, I had people like that, but they were like 20, 30 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? I wish I had people that walked alongside of me and was like, girl, I believe in you. Instead, I was getting a lot of people telling, Jermaine, change this. Jermaine, I don't like, no, Jermaine, like, why do you have to wear such, listen, I'm colorful. You see me? This is pink. Y'all can't really see it. But I'm colorful. I have long nails and I wear a lot of jewelry. But that's a part of who Jermaine is. You know, again, talking to Julie when I went, my friend is her name. I was talking to my friend earlier at breakfast and we were talking about like religion and stuff like that. I was like, if we followed religion to the T, I would not be a preacher at all. Because I wear lipstick. Again, my nails are like long. I wear a lot of jewelry. My hair is blue. And unfortunately, not all of my skirts go past my knee. So does that mean God can't use me? No. Does that mean that I've preached before? You know what I'm saying? But like religion would say, Jermaine, no. You're supposed to be wearing all black and this covered head to your ankle. I don't want to see no skin except for your hand and your face, blank, your hair, brown, black, whatever you were born with. Don't touch it. You know? And it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Embrace who you are because who you are is needed in this world. And you have to believe that. The power that's in that shift of like, I actually belong in this room. I'm actually worthy of everything that I've been praying and dreaming for. I am worthy of that promotion. I am worthy of that relationship. I am worthy of that home. I am worthy of having the things. I am worthy of being the best version of me because just because everyone doubted me doesn't mean I should be him or her. I deserve to excel beyond even my own imagination. I deserve that. And a lot of people, y'all, let me tell you, even though it sounds contradictory to what I was just saying about like us needing people to like validate and support and stuff, we can't rely on people to be our pushing force, right? Because people will let you down. The same people, it's get real churchy. The same people that were screaming Hosanna, Hosanna to Jesus was the same one that was like crucify him. The same people that put you up are going to be the same people that put you down sometimes. So I know that sounds contradictory, but I'm not contradicting myself. You do need a tribe. This is how we function in this world. We need tribes. We're not meant to be islands because we struggle as islands. You do need a tribe, but you also need to be mindful. I'm in charge of my success. I'm in charge of my happiness, joy, love, peace, anger, sadness, whatever it is. I'm in charge of that. Some people need you to be broken because if you stay broken, you continue to operate in the ways that you do. People need you to be toxic. I said this to, I think I said this to my mentee or someone. I'm like, they need you to be broken and toxic because they know they're trash. You know what I'm saying? And trash only recognize the fact that like I need someone that is on this level or beneath me that's going to tolerate my buffoonery. And so if you continuously, I won't say we ignore it. Sometimes it's ignoring. Sometimes it's coddling. Sometimes we make excuses for other people's toxicity. Again, guilty of it myself. I am not judging the soul because sissy poo, even as a therapist and minister and all these other things, I'm making some questionable decisions in my life. Okay. So I'm human, y'all, but we keep going. Anyway, so we can't just think that people are going to be the fixing of our thing. We also have to remember some people need you to remain broken, because you at your healed self, you won't tolerate that, and you won't be around for them. They know this. And sometimes, and this is why mental and emotional abuse sometimes is a worse abuse. Most of the time is a worse abuse. I have had clients that are 60 that are healing not just from physical wounds that happen to them, because that is a thing. I had a client with a concussion before. I had a client who had a gash over her eye, and every time she sees it, she's like, dang. Yeah, dude was crazy. But I've had 60-year-old clients that are still healing from something that was said to them. Said about them. They're still healing from that, and they're in their 60s. And you would think, like, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. Lies. People are healing from words, man. Like, some people do not think themselves to be worthy of anything because people told them they're not. Or nobody broke that narrative and was like, hey, you. Yes, you. You matter to me. The world needs you. I see you. You are amazing. And to them, that's like a shock to the system. They're like, what are you talking about? I never heard this before. Great. And I'm going to keep saying it to you until you start to believe it for yourself. Because we need to hear something different, right? So again, believing you belong in the room, believing that you're worthy of something, believing that if I'm working this hard for it, I sure hope I get it. And if I get it, I want to be ready for this thing. I want my mindset to be, my spirit to be aligned with this thing that I have. I want to make sure that who I am matches this thing that I'm asking for, or this person, this relationship that I'm asking for. I want to be that. You know what I'm saying? And so we can't get mad when we're not obtaining the thing. It's like, are you even ready for it? Sometimes we're working towards the wrong thing. I need to make more money. Okay. And then what? You're still wasteful. So you're probably going to go buy the newest J's or whatever it is that you're going to get. You're probably going to get your nails done, your hair done, your lashes, all the things. And it's like, oh, look, all that money's gone. When I told myself, if I get more money, I'm going to have and your habits didn't change. So you wasted the money. Instead, it's like that saying, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach him how to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. I'm teaching people how to fish. Don't know much about that, but y'all know, metaphorically speaking, I'm teaching people how to fish. I'm teaching people to understand that there's a way to design your life. Shameless plug with that one. There's a way to design your life so that you are happy, fulfilled, joyful, at peace, you name it, claim it, you know what I'm saying? So like, I want to teach you how to build the system, the book Atomic Habits. Everyone loves that because it's not just about changing your habits. It's about creating a system that your life can respond to so that, again, no matter what unforeseen circumstance happens, you have developed a system of, okay, I got to make a pivot, but I'm going to continue. I didn't see it going this way. This is a major detour, but I'm laser focused because I created a system that's going to allow, that's going to allow me to be great. So this is why coming up real soon, y'all, I have a workshop called Design Your Life. Design Your Life is not just for teenagers. It is for teenagers, but I also have one for young adults. And then I have one for adults because sometimes we need to realign with the vision that we had. Sometimes we need to start from scratch and be like, all right, what's the vision? What are we working for? And let me design my life in a way where I can now mold and shape the things that I need to the way that I want to. You know what I'm saying? You're designing it. Again, love me some HGTV. You know, there was a show called Good Bones, and they would take it. Literally, the reason why it's called Good Bones because it went down to like the beams. You know, and they were like, all right, let's change this room. Let's flip this thing around. That wall belongs over there now. We're gonna open this up. And I'm like, they just designed that off of looking at pieces of wood? Like, what? But they had a blueprint. And I'm going to help people to develop an individualized blueprint. So, you know, stay tuned because it's coming. Anyway, shameless plug over. So, preparation for the expansion, it requires intentionality, it requires strategy, it requires preparation, it requires making room, it requires a belief in who you are and that you deserve to have the things that you have. And that doesn't change regardless of what age you are. There are people who are 70 that's like, I ran out of time, so hopefully my kids or my grandkids can pick it up. Or I don't have that, so my life is ruined. And it's like, hold on. Every day you wake up is a chance to do the thing that you're like, I always wanted to do it. I might have to make some revisions because I'm 70 or I'm 45 or I'm 32. Might have to make some revisions, but I still want to do the thing. If you want to impact your community, do it. Maybe it's not in the way that you originally envisioned you doing it. Maybe it's not like physically going out there and building things. Maybe you're dealing with the food scarcity that's happening. I'm gonna feed y'all. I ain't got nothing but time, so I'm gonna cook for you guys, and I'm gonna go out periodically, give out some food if that's what you want to do. You know, just because it's not in the way that you originally saw it, doesn't mean you still can't do it. Again, the strategy of the pivot, you know, the preparation, the posture of the pivot. You know, church folk, we like to, church preachers, we like to do those word plays. Pivot, you know, it's okay to pivot. It's okay. It's okay to do it multiple times. Listen, I have 2 whiteboards over here. Okay. Now, there have been plenty of times where I'm like, all right, I got the vision for it. It's written down. I planned it. I mapped it out. Boom, let's do it. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. This is more costly than I have money for. All right, back to the drawing board. And then I find something more cost effective. Me and my secretary, Shatira, aka ChatGPT, you know, we brainstorm and then I put it to paper and I'm like, all right, cool, boom, let's do this. And then it's like, okay, yeah, but now you have to market this. Now, how are you going to market that? Back to the drawing board. It happens. Like, you're going to have to revert back to that drawing board often because things happen. Life changes, things change, whatever. The important thing is that you have the strategy and you have a system that allows you to prepare for what's to come. You know, everybody loves that Jabez pray of like, Lord, enlarge my territory. It's like, and then what, y'all? What are we going to do with it? Because then some of us just have more land and it's like, oh, yeah, no, I didn't plan for what actually would happen once I got it. I just knew that that's what I wanted. And then it's like, okay, so does it go to waste? You know what I'm saying? Like, for people who eat with their eyes and not their like actual stomach capacity, they get all of this food, especially if you're at a buffet. Or even if you're not at a buffet, you just order all this food and you're like, I'm not even going to eat any of this. My mom used to tell me, Jermaine, don't you go into that grocery store when you're hungry because you're going to buy everything. You're going to buy a little bit of everything and you don't even want half that stuff. You just bought it because in that moment you were hungry. Ooh, that could preach. Anyway, don't just keep asking for the thing. And don't just keep saying like, oh, I want, and your eyes get bigger and then you don't have the capacity to handle it. That is the worst thing. And trust me, I've been there where I'm like, ooh, yay, I have the thing. And child, the way I self-sabotage back in the day, you would think I went to school for self-sabotage because I have an anxious avoidant attachment, or because I didn't think I belonged in the room, or because I had really bad imposter syndrome, or because I'm just like not fully equipped or educated, or I didn't build strategy. I don't have a system for this thing. And so I'm just like, you got something good, sis, but you just threw that thing away because of fear, because of uncertainty, because of poor habits, because of poor perspective and how you view yourself, all the things, right? And so a part of this healing, a part of this let me do life better, a part of this I want to be prepared for more is I got to recognize that preparation is not just only physical, it is mental, it is emotional, it is spiritual. And this is why I love to talk about wholeness. You know what I'm saying? Because there are so many diets out there, so many things you can do, so many pills, vitamins, injections, and all the things to lose weight. So now you literally have no excuse. If you're not going to do it the natural way by dieting and exercising, now you can just do it the other ways. You can get surgeries, and I'm not downing anything because shoot, I might have to consider a lot of things for myself, So I'm not saying that, but I am saying people will spend thousands and thousands of dollars to make sure that they aesthetically look the way that they want to. But on the inside, I'm very insecure. I still hate the way I look. I still hate the way that I feel. My body hasn't looked this way since I was 7, but in here, it like my mind doesn't match the body. My spirit don't match the body. You can tell that I'm disciplined and I work my tail off because of what you can see. But I only put that energy in my body. I didn't put it in my mind. I didn't put it in my spirit. And this is why you have a lot of people that are like, to this day, struggling with self and identity and confidence and self-esteem, all of these things, because they spend so much energy and time trying to perfect the outer appearance that they neglect the inner appearance, or vice versa. Like for me, I spent plenty of years healing from the things that I had to heal from, because I'm like, what do I look like being a counselor that's triggered every session, or can't manage their own emotions, or doesn't know how to properly heal, and I can't guide people to a place I've never been. So yeah, I spent so much time. And then of course my spirit man, I'm like, girl, let's get it together, because your spirit is what anchors you in life's storm. So get it together. Now internally, killing it. Externally, I look flabby and some other things. And so wholeness, people, is the main is the main part I'm trying to bring out. Everything deserves your attention. Your spirit, your body, and your mind/soul. That's wholeness. That's completeness. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're preparing for the expansion, you're saying all of this aligns. All of this is in agreement. The most dysregulated person, or the Bible talks about a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. It's because my heart's over here, my mind's over here, my body wants something completely different. Like we all over the place, and you're just like, and you're trying to please all the parts instead of being like, all right, y'all, let's have a board meeting. Okay? Because we all need to align. Like, body, I know what you want. I know things feel good, and I know you're trying to numb some other things. I know you don't want to feel. However, you're going to have to be uncomfortable for a little bit, because the spirit, your spirit man is like, hey, we need to be more disciplined, you know what I'm saying? And we need to stop relying on external things for something that we can develop if we just remain disciplined within self, right? Telling your mind and your heart, like, hey, y'all are often in disagreement, but we got to agree on something. The same way you would with your significant other, like, hey, we probably on opposite sides right now, but we got to come to a compromise and agree to something. Even if it's we agree to disagree, we have to come into agreement with something. And as you see, when we come into agreement, we can successfully move forward more peaceably than we were before, right? If your heart and your mind and your body and your spirit are all saying different things, you gonna keep bouncing. And your life isn't even gonna make sense to you because you done did all of this bouncing. Instead of saying, like, again, strategy and intentionality, saying like, all right, y'all, where we at? Are we all in agreement? Are we all gonna move forward? No matter how uncomfortable this is? Do we all agree? All right, cool, let's go. So that when discomfort happens, when the enemies come and the naysayers come and the backbiting and we lose things, when all of those things come, everybody agreed, well, we said we were moving forward. So here we go. You know, I realized within my own journey, I was doing all right, but I kept getting set back and I kept being stagnant because my body was going, my mind was going, my heart was trying to do a thing, but everything in me was not in agreement. I need to be in agreement with whatever it is that I decide to do. I have been the most uncomfortable I have ever been. You hear me? Nothing about my life currently is comfortable. But for the first time ever, everything in me agrees. That's the first time I said that out loud. Anyway, but for the first time ever, everything in me agrees. Everything is like, Jermaine, we're going to do this and we ain't stopping. And if we do stop, it's only to build more strategy and then to keep moving. My mind agrees with what my heart agrees, with what my spirit agrees, and my body, she catching up. But she in the same lane though. She might be a few feet behind. We in the same lane. For the first time, everything agreed is in agreement, and I'm like, whoa, things are moving. This is pretty great. Oh, hey, thank you for coming in, Wealthy V. Hey, my Instagram is on the other monitor. Anyway, yeah, be in the comment section, y'all. I like responding to people in case you haven't noticed. But yeah, everything has to be in alignment. Everything has to agree. You have to say to yourself, I may not know everything, but I know myself. And if you don't know yourself, get to know yourself. Because who you are is what's going to be sometimes the difference between you being successful and making it and not doing a thing. You know, be in agreement, know who you are, because the only constant other than God is you. Okay? So trust yourself, know yourself, love yourself, believe in yourself, because more is coming. You work too hard for more not to come. You prayed too long and believed too long for more not to come. I feel this real heavy in me. You have worked diligently day in and day out. You did the hard work. You cried the tears. You did the blood, sweat, all of the things. You worked so hard to get more. There should be no reason why when it's here, that God's like, I can't even give it to you. Like this is when you were supposed to get it, but you can't get it because, well, you ain't ready. Again, y'all heard me say this. I don't even know how many episodes now. The Israelites could not step foot into the promised land because they had a slave's mentality. And God is like, if you take that slave mentality and go up against these giants, you're not even going to consider the fact that I said that that's your promised land. You're going to be like, actually, maybe we heard wrong. Maybe it wasn't Canaan. Maybe it was Cana. Maybe it was Canada. I don't know. I don't think we heard him right, because your mindset says we're not ready for this. We're not prepared for this. This is why I believe Moses chose Joshua amongst a lot of reasons, because God said so, But Joshua was one of the people that was like, I mean, here's the facts. Facts is there's some big people in there. Facts is this land that God said that was ours is currently occupied. Those are facts. Also, if he said, let's conquer it, well, then let's go. If he said it, it has to happen, because he's the one that sent us here, right? But sometimes we are not, again, we're not in alignment with this. We just kind of like, I mean, maybe, kind of, not really, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, after all of this, we have to come into the recognition and agreement that we belong and we deserve better and more. We deserve it. You work so hard that you deserve this thing. So prepare for it by making sure you have strategy, making sure that you are intentional, make sure you have a tribe, and also make sure that you're not solely dependent or codependent upon that tribe. And then believe that you belong, believe that you deserve it, and then find alignment. Okay? If we can do all of these things, whatever this more is that you have worked so hard for, prayed hard for, dreamed about, you're going to get it. Because why would you have the vision or have the idea or have the skill sets to do something? It's for a reason. But if you don't believe it, we sabotage, and then that's that. Okay? So, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Was I good? Did I do all right? All right. So, anywho, next week, it may be a pre-recording because my birthday is Monday, and I'm going to be away. Like this time last year, I was on my way to Hawaii, hence the flower and the colors, because I had to commemorate that moment, because I was like the peace before the storm. And yeah, anyway, this year I'm still going to be, I'm not going to be up north like I am now, but I'm not going to be too far. But I'm going to have a great time because I'm going to be with some great people. So happy birthday to me. Yeah. My birthday is Monday, in case you were wondering, and even if you weren't, now you know. And so yeah, I don't know what we're doing Thursday. I may just skip it. I may do a pre-recording. You're just gonna have to watch and see. And again, like I say every week, thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing. Share this with someone who you think can benefit from it. Be in the comment section. You know where to find me. If you pay attention to this upcoming outro video, you'll get to know what I've been up to, what a Fighting Chance has been up to, what a Fighting Chance is preparing for. Oh, happy birthday. Okay, Leo, where y'all here? Yeah, the 7th is great. Is that next Thursday? Huh. Anyway, I digress. So watch this outro video. Sometimes my brain, she loses focus. It's like, ooh, squirrel. Y'all be blessed. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for this video. It's about 2 minutes. So just hold on for another 2 minutes. All right, guys. Bye. Hey, guys. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel to watch the Inimitable podcast. This podcast is for those who may feel unseen, unheard, unrecognizable, misunderstood, all of those things, right? So thank you for coming. We're going to do this every other week, okay, for Therapeutic Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
if you set that little bell, click that little bell to subscribe, you will find out what we have going on. I just wanted to create this space so that everyone knows who they are, remembers who they are, discovers a safe space where you can emote, where you can feel, where you can connect, you know what I'm saying, and be in the comment section, because I do, reply back to you when you're in the comment section. So thank you guys for coming, and stay tuned for the flyers that are coming, because I do have a mental health affirmation coloring book out. I also have a journal called To the Other Side. This is for people who are stuck in that in-between season, or the hallway season like we like to call it. But sometimes those hallway seasons look like a wilderness, if you know what I'm saying. So stay tuned. Everything is on Amazon. Thank you for coming to my YouTube. We got stuff coming on Patreon. So stay tuned. Thanks for coming, and I'll see you guys later.